Good afternoon, and everyone. I'd like to call this special City Council meeting to order. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for our statement of values? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we gather, we humbly seek blessings upon this meeting. May we act with strength, courage, and the will to perform our obligations and duties to our people with justice to all. Let us seek wisdom so that we may act in the best interest of our people, our neighbors, and our country. All this we ask so that we may serve our community with fairness and respect, putting their needs before all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Clerk, do we read all those?
I'll read the statement of behavioral standards.
Okay.
The City of Santa Clara has adopted a code of ethics and values and behavioral standards for public meetings to promote and maintain the highest levels of conduct. This includes mutual respect, robust discussion, and allowing city business to be done in an efficient and consistent manner. Please note that as a presiding officer, the mayor's direction in matters of process and decorum should be followed, and that use of the gavel indicates all conversations must conclude, and everyone in attendance should come to order and attention. Welcome and thank you for your participation.
Thank you. City Clerk, do I have to read this since we don't have public presentations? Or
No.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Can we please silence our cell phones? Thank you. So tonight we have interviews for 3 commissions.
Roll call, Madam Mayor.
Pardon me?
Roll call.
Oh, roll call. City Clerk. See, you're way ahead of me.
Councilmember Watanabe.
Here.
Councilmember Shahal.
Present.
Councilmember Hardy.
Present.
Councilmember Park.
Here.
Councilmember Jane.
Here.
Vice Mayor Becker.
Present.
And Mayor Gilmore.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, City Clerk. So today we have interviews for 3 commissions. We're going to start with the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, and then moving on to the Board of Library Trustees, and ending with our Civil Service Commission. So, City Clerk, did you want to go over the procedure for us today, this afternoon?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you stated, yes, you have 3 boards and commission applicant that will be before you to make a selection this evening. The first one, as you stated, is the Bicycle, Pedestrian, and Advisory Committee for 1 partial term ending June 30th, 2025. I wanted to note for the record that you had 4 applications. The 4th applicant, Jacob Teed, called and withdrew from the process this afternoon, so you will now just be interviewing 3. They're all aware that they have 3 minutes for an introduction, followed by the council questions, followed by a 1-minute closing remark. They've all have received their interview questions beforehand, so they should all be ready to go. And your first applicant is Hung Ji Duong, and he is on Zoom and online, so I can transfer him over.
All right, very good. Let's get started. Hung, are you there? Or is it, you tell me when he's there.
Hung, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, thanks for having me. This is Hung Chi Duong.
Would you
Hi,
like to
Hung.
turn your
Thank you.
camera on?
Yes, I would do that right now. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. Thank you so much, Hung. Thank you for joining us. This is for the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. And so I think you've been instructed already a 3-minute opening statement. We'll ask you questions and then a 1-minute closing statement. So whenever you'd like to start, we're ready for you.
Yes, so a little introduction about myself. My name is Hung Ji Duong. I have a master's degree of public health from the San Jose State University. I work with the Santa Clara County Public Health Department in some of the special assignments, such as the COVID-19 emergency response. I work with their harm reduction program, also the HIV and AIDS prevention program. Currently, as my current job, I am a supervisor at one of the Microsoft Bay Area data center. The reason why I want to apply for this position because I have been following the city and a lot of the activity as a community member, and I have thought about joining the community as an active member of the community so I can contribute my skills and talent in a more active role. And that's the reason why I applied for this position.
Okay, thank you so much. We will start with our first question. I'm going to start with Vice Mayor Becker. If you could please ask the first question.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for applying. So the first question is, do you feel there should be more bike lockers in developments or public spaces? What would you do to advocate for those needs?
Thank you so much for your question. I do believe that having more biolocker in the development and public space is beneficial for promoting active lifestyle among our community member. It's a sustainable mode of transportation, and it's encouraged people to choose biking over driving, which is more healthy for their life and also create less pollution for our environment. To advocate for these needs, I have some several actions that I would like to suggest, such as we can do research and data collection. We got a data on the demand for biolocker in the communities, and then we can do community engagement where we organize meeting and forum to raise awareness about the benefit, the health benefit, the financial benefit, and also talk about the support that we have for the biking community as well. For policy advocacy, we can advocate for the inclusion of the requirement for bilockers in such as development plans and municipal ordinances. It could involve lobbying the city council, planning commission, and developer to prioritize biking infrastructure in urban planning. And we can also create partnership with businesses, property owner, nonprofit organization to install locker in the public spaces, such as like transit station and public park and commercial area where people gathers and meet each others. Building partnership can share the cost burden and expand the reach of lockers for everybody. And then we can also do demonstration project where we can implement a pilot program to demonstrate the benefit of having more buy locker in the communities to showcase the effectiveness of the buy lockers in increasing cycling rate and reducing congestion for our traffic. As we all know, Bay Area is very popular with the Bay Area traffic is very well known among our community members, and it create a lot of headache for our community members, especially when people start leaving for work or coming home from work, and we can help reduce that. And then we can also do educational campaign. We can promote bike locker usage and proper bike security practices to promote and to welcome a lot more of our community member into the health the active healthy lifestyle, and then we can provide information onto how to access and use bike locker as well as giving tip to prevent bicycle theft. So by combining all these strategies, we can effectively advocate for the expansion of bike lockers infrastructure and create more bike friendly communities. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have four more questions. So Councilmember Hardy?
What do you think about the amount of money the city budgets for bicycle and pedestrian improvements?
Thank you for your question. From what I know, from reading the newspaper and following the news and watching the news on the TV, I know that the amount of money allocated by the city for bicycle and pedestrian improvement is quite substantial, and it does demonstrate that there is a commitment to enhance the active transportation option. I know that we have 250 million allocated in the Santa Clara County Transportation Plan in 2016, and an additional 29.3 million allocated for bicycle plan in 2019. So it is evident that the city recognized the importance of investing in bike and pedestrian infrastructures, and it's indicated that our city is prioritizing the development of safe and accessible pathway for cycling and pedestrian. It can have numerous benefits for the communities, which is improve public health, reduce traffic congestion, and enhance the quality of life. Um, However, I think that we also should remember that transparency and community engagement are essential in the budgeting process to ensure that the allocation of the fund align with the need and the preferences of our community members. By prioritizing the investment in bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure, city can create more inclusive, healthy, and environmentally friendly transportation system for all of our community residents.
Thank you. Councilmember Jane?
Thank you, Hong. What do you think of the shared mobility program in Santa Clara? That's bikes and scooters.
All right, thank you for your question. I know that our share mobility program allow private operator to deploy share electric bicycle and scooter in the city. I have used the service before, and I think it's pretty great. Um, it's the program is something that I'm a fan of, and I have a high approval for it. Um, I think that our program can increase the transportation option. So the share bike and scooter provide a lot of our community residents and visitors with the additional transportation option beyond the traditional mode, like driving or public transit. And then having diverse operator participation, um, we can lead to better service quality. We have more innovation and potentially lower cost for all the user of these services when we partner with Bird, Limes, and VO. Um, I think our program promote active transportation, which is always good for public health. And I think that by providing access to these share bikes and scooter, the program can promote a more active lifestyle among people of all ages in our communities. And I think that one of the most important things that I want to point out is that it's also promote the last mile connectivities where the bikes and scooter are particularly useful for last mile transport, bridging the gap between public transit stop and the final destination. I know some of my friends and my coworkers taking the bus, and also they taking the train from far out of town. And when they get to the station, having these share bikes and scooter help them get to their job, help them get to the school, which is very convenient. And then I think that it can make public transportation more convenient, accessible, not just for those who into the bicycle lifestyle, but also for everybody who even never even try biking or having e-scooter before. And last but not least, I think the environment benefit is there. It's encouraged the use of bike and scooter as an alternative to car, and it can contribute to reducing the greenhouse gas emission and air pollution, which is very much what we are striving for in Santa Clara with our sustainability goals. Thank you.
Thank you. Two more questions. I'm going to ask you to be just slightly briefer, if that's okay. What do you think of implementing the Vision Zero program in the city of Santa Clara?
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. I am aware of the Vision Zero program in the city of San Jose, and I think that is something that we should implement as well. Implement the program can be a significant step in improving the traffic safety and reducing the number of fatality and severe injury. So I think we should focus on the safety, and we should focus on a holistic approach where we take a comprehensive multi-sectoral approach to traffic safety, addressing various factors such as road design, speed management, enforcement, education, and community engagement. And then we should also set a clear goal of what we want from our own Vision Zero program. And of course, we should also facilitate the community engagement, and we should approach with a data-driven approach method where we should have data analysis and evidence-based practices to identify the high-risk location, understanding the pattern in the crash, and also evaluate the effectiveness of the intervention. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Chahal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying, Mr. Hung. How would you categorize and address challenges for elderly, expectant mothers, toddlers, and others who may not easily walk or bicycle to destinations like, but not limited to, grocery stores, schools, and restaurants?
Thank you so much for your question. Some of the challenges that I can identify is that accessibility, which is that we should ensure the sidewalk, crosswalk, and pedestrian pathway accessible. It have to be well maintained and free of obstacle, such as uneven surfaces or crack on the pavement. And then we should increase more public transportation, where we improve access to a public transportation by increasing the frequency and coverage of the bus route. Ensure that vehicles are equipped with ramp and lift for onboarding, and provide priority seating for the elderly and disabled passenger. And then we can also have community support services, where we establish community-based support service at volunteer driver, shuttle service, ride-sharing initiative to assist the elderly and the people with disability in our communities. Also, we should have pedestrian safety education, where we can distribute information material in multiple languages and format to reach the diverse community that we have here in Santa Clara. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hung. Thank you for your thoughtful answers. Now's the time to give us your 1 minute closing, up to 1 minute closing statement.
All right. So for my closing remark, I just want to say that as a pedestrian and a person who own an e-scooter and an e-bike, I have used a lot of the services that our city provided, and I have seen that where we have the strength and where we can use some of the improvement. Such as specifically, I have used the road, the Lafayette Street going to El Camino Real in Santa Clara, and I can see that some of the street could use a lot more bicycle lane, because at some of the intersection, the bicycle lane just cut off and it just disappeared like it was never there. So I think that's what have motivated me to apply for this position, because as a service user, I feel that when I join this community, I can speak for my communities, and I can contribute my talent and skill for my community more to address, identify the problem, and speaking from a perspective of someone who used the service.
Thank you so much, Hung. So after we finish the next couple of interviews, we'll be voting right here tonight. So tune in, stay tuned for that. It's going to happen pretty quickly, but thank you so much for all of your very thought out and thoughtful responses. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, City Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Your next applicant to interview is Guillermo Genaro Rabadan.
And Guillermo's here in person. Yes, please, and welcome. And if you pull the microphone, yeah, just so you're close to it. Very good. Is it on? Let's see, test.
1, 2, 3.
Here we go.
Okay,
All right, whenever you're ready, Guillermo, you can start your 3-minute opening statement.
I'm ready, thank you.
Okay.
So, good afternoon, esteemed members of the council and the panel. So my name is Guillermo Genaro Rabadan. I'm a proud resident of the city of Santa Clara. I've been here for almost 10 years, and I'm passionate about the city, the opportunities it offers, the climate, and the university, and the beauty of the history of this place in the world. Professionally, I'm an aerospace engineer. I'm in the aviation safety industry, so I understand the challenges of putting systems in place that are with multiple interdependencies, that are complex, that are driven by safety, and there is a very strong factor about cultural and engaging of the users of the service, which is not always easy to handle. So I'm aware of the challenges, but at the same time, I think there are a lot of opportunities to make things happen in a way that is safe and sustainable. Before living in Santa Clara, I was living in Europe, in Germany, in Hamburg, where the weather is crappy almost every day, and yet people use the bicycle to go to work, to bring kids to school, no matter how old are you. So I don't think there is something intrinsic that makes it harder for people to use the bike and go to wherever they want to do. I think Santa Clara offers a very good flat surface for that, although distances are a little bit larger than in average than in other places. But I think there is a strong opportunity to actually encourage people to use the bike more often. And I myself, I'm a biker, and I was trying to look at how many miles or kilometers I was doing in Germany with my bike and how many I'm doing here, where the weather is very nice, and actually it's half of what it was. And there are a number of factors that I can relate to my personal experience that I would like to bring into into the conversations that are going to happen regarding how can we encourage a better utilization of this place for pedestrians and bicycles. The final thing for this introduction that I'd like to mention is that when at work I have promoted a number of initiatives to try to encourage people to come to the office by bike. There are a number of things to consider, but typically people follow momentum, follow invitations to do things, dedicate certain times, and put some incentives. And what I believe is once you get the momentum, it's very engaging because you feel better, it's healthier, you can lose some weight, you understand that actually there are ways to get where you have to go with the bike. So I believe that there are a number of things that has to happen in order to trigger that energy and that momentum. And I've been experiencing with that at work. I, by the way, also did that in my previous workplaces. And I think that there is a strong opportunity, and that's why I would like to bring my energy and my ideas to this forum. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Guillermo, your first question is going to be from, where did I end here? Councilmember Watanabe.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for replying, Guillermo. I like your background and living in Europe, and you're bringing, ideas. Having been to Europe, I always love to observe transportation, and especially pedestrian and biking. So I like that you bring that into the table. So the first question for you is, do you feel there should be more bike lockers in developments or public spaces? What would you do to advocate for those needs?
Thank you for the question. My answer is yes. Everything that goes in investing in infrastructure and removing barriers for bicycle users to make it simple for them is going to help. Now the question is, what is the trade-off? Normally we have certain constraints, budget constraints, space constraints, and other utilization of the spaces. I think lockers is an important component because very often also happened to me, you go to a place with the bike, you don't know what to do with the bike. And if you like your bike and you spend some money, then you are also concerned about the safety of the bike. So I think lockers is one component that is going to help the adoption of a more bicycle city. Yet, I think it belongs to a bigger question of trade-offs and what is the amount of resources and which components you want to allocate. So I think for that you have to be a little bit data-driven and which factors we know from experience that work better and entice people to use the infrastructure and the investments that the city is going to make available for them. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Councilmember Park.
Thank you very much, Guillermo. What do you think about the amount of money the city budgets for bicycle and pedestrian improvements?
When I was looking at the number and the amount of millions that the city is investing, I was very surprised, to be honest. And I lack of the deeper understanding of what drives those numbers and where really what are the plans associated with them and the outcomes that are expected out of them. I feel when I'm biking in the city, I feel that there is a lot of fragmentation. There are very nice routes, very well signaled, and all of a sudden they stopped. There are as well good opportunities for the ones that want to enjoy biking, not as a commuter, but just as a hobby. I think that's well thought. But if you really want to have more commuting opportunities and get into more cleaner and healthier city, I think that those investments probably, in terms of volume, seems reasonable. Again, although I don't know really the other side of the question, the costs. But I think they probably lack of continuity. Because again, it's very fragmented. Some places, like it's fine if you want to go there, it's safe going by bike. If you want to go to other place, even sometimes it's shorter distance is not okay. So I believe that volume-wise is okay. And then the question is, how is the outcome of that investment, and what is the overall planning and continuity of those investments? Thank you for the question.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Becker.
Thank you, Guillermo, for replying. My question for you is, what do you think of the shared mobility program in Santa Clara, bikes and scooters?
Thank you for the question. Well, what I think this is a very complementary transportation mean, offers more opportunities for people to use public transportation and not to use so much the car, which I think is good. But the two synergies that I see with the biking options is that probably they share similar infrastructure, because today they suffer from the same problem, like what do I go? I take the road and it's maybe dangerous for me, but also maybe for the cars, which has a different mass and speed. Or I go in the pedestrians, where it's the same problem, different speed. So I believe that there is a synergy with the infrastructure that is used. And the second thing, which is very interesting, is all those e-bikes and scooters, they measure everything. So you have the data, you can look at the heat maps, you can look at where these last mile, as they call it, are being used the most, and maybe also offers opportunities where you want to put your bikes and the other systems in those areas where there is more demand.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy.
Yes, thank you. What do you think of implementing the Vision Zero program in the city of Santa Clara?
Thank you for the question. I think the vision is a really nice and good one, and San Jose, it was also brought along with the previous candidate. I think the records can be improved, and I think it's a must to improve safety and make sure that the city is doing everything it can to reduce the accidents rate. For bicycles and pedestrians, I think it's a key driver. So myself, very often, I don't encourage certain people for certain routes because I think it's not safe. So I believe that increasing infrastructure, increasing the safety and the perception of people that is a safer place to bike is going to bring a lot of compound effects to using the more healthier means of transportation and greener means of transportation. Having said that, what I think again is all about, I have my bucket of investment, and then how can I do it meaningfully, but also in a way that I can get results out of it. And I think safety is normally something which is very well tracked. So you can look at the data and look at how many incidents, how many deaths were affected cyclists or drivers. So I think the fact that improving safety, because it's easy to measure and it's a very important component, is going to have a lot of spillover effects as well in having the city more cyclable and for pedestrians walkable. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Jane.
Thank you, Guillermo. How would you characterize and address challenges for elderly, expectant mothers, toddlers, and others who may not easily walk or bicycle to destinations like, but not limited to, grocery stores, schools, and restaurants?
Thank you for the question, and I think the fact that you are asking this question is again one of the reasons why I really like Santa Clara. It's a very inclusive city, and they care about everybody. For example, in my previous experience in Germany, there was nothing specifically for these populations because the idea is that people, as long as they can, they are going to use bikes or other or public transportations, and when there are things that they cannot cope with, they are going to be the ones asking for it. But what I really like the approach here is that you start thinking about, okay, how these different segments are going to feel about investments for biking. Are we recognizing their specific needs? And can we actually make an offer that it's more suitable for them? So for example, my kids, they are not toddlers, they were toddlers. They were biking to the school was very close by, and then when they went to Santa Clara High School, they stopped biking because all of a sudden was risky for them. And they were asking, so why we can, like, in other counties or cities, there are actually better ways to commute for kids, and this is one of the reasons they were asking, why are you so scared when we bike to the school? So I believe that inclusiveness is very important. They have a specific needs, and in parallel, we would have to look at what are the numbers, how many population are going to be in these segments, and what is going to be the outcome if you really focus and invest into them. Yet, inclusivity, I think, is very important, and I really like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Guillermo. Now's the time for you to give us a 1-minute closing statement, something maybe that you want to leave us with.
Yes, so I'm really passionate about using the bike as a transportation mean. I think there are so many places that use that that commuting option on the daily basis. And when you go to work by bike and you go there, you take a shower, and then you start your day in a different way, and you also feel good about not having contributed to the traffic, not having contributed to the climate emissions. So I think it's a very positive reinforcement for the community. Obviously, there are so many positives in terms of health, and in terms of the ones that actually need to use the car to commute, that they have a better or lighter commutes. It's very positive, and I'm really passionate about that. I would like to bring that passion and that experience, however I can, into this city, which I really love. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent interview. Thank you very much. If you want to just stay with us, we have one more person to interview, and then we'll be making a decision.
Thank you so much. I will stay.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
City Clerk?
Next candidate is Abinaz Roy.
Okay, and we have him here. Very good. Welcome.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Welcome. When you're ready, you can start with your 3-minute introduction.
Yes, sure. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council Member, and everyone in the audience. My name is Abinaz Roy, and I'm a passionate resident of Santa Clara for more than 15 years now. I'm here today because I deeply care about city's future. I believe my skills and experience can make a positive impact to the county. With a background in software engineering, a master's degree, and business executive MBA in Stanford, I bring a unique blend of technical understanding and strategic thinking. Beyond my professional work at Apple for more than 10 years, I'm actively involved in our community. I'm a veteran and worked more than around 10 years in defense services. I co-lead in Indian Diversity Network at Apple, organizing volunteering for various programs for foster and cultural understanding. I actively participate in various cultural events, including Diwali Mela, Holi celebration, and Independence Day, and various flag raising, collaborating with more than 27 diverse community in Silicon Valley. I have volunteered in many diverse NGOs for many projects like food drives, events for homeless people, yoga, and mental health and for everyone. I have also certified crowd management professional, so whenever city requires, I used to participate. I'm passionate about empowering the next generation volunteering to teach computer skills and advance AI skills to children. My commitment extends to our local library as well. I am actively involved in their Future of Libraries program, ensuring our library remains a vibrant resource for all. Further, I have consistently following up city council meetings via online or sometime occasionally to physical, and staying informed about issues Santa Clara is facing and going on. I am confident my skills and dedication can contribute significantly to our city's progress. I firmly believe in collaboration and would like to collaborate with all the city members and all the communities members so that our city can be a better place for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So I'm going to be the first to ask a question for you. So do you feel there should be more bike lockers in developments or public spaces? What would you do to advocate for these needs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very good initiative, and bike lockers and development public spaces is good for safety of our citizens and their belongings. We need more bike lockers in public places, in park, in school, in libraries, and city halls. I would like to support for more safety for the citizens. So it will help in increased cycling. So most of the most of the citizens will encourage to bike more if they have a good storage and they can ensure the safety of their the belongings. It will reduce the theft, which can protect the valuable bicyclers and encourage ridership. It will also have a better space utilization, so we can utilize the efficient use of spaces, allowing more bikes to be stored securely in a designated area. And it will the city will look very clean and more organized in public spaces. The data, if you see the advocacy, the data and research, if you see from the previous years, and many other communities like League of American Bicycle and California Bicycle Coalition. So they have shown the positive impact of public health and environment. Hence, we should inspire the cycling with reference to other counties, so that it is very successful implementation has been done. We can also basically reach to the community outreach we can do. We can work with the developers and the city planners to encourage more and more we can create more and more lockers in the public places, as well as we can partner with some business organization also, so that they can sponsor those, so we don't have to spend a lot of city budget money. And also different type of, there are bike lockers we can have, like standard and electric. So that will help easy and faster implementation of lockers in development area. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, Councilmember Chahal.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying, Mr. Roy. What do you think about the amount of money the city budgets for bicycle and ped improvements?
Yeah, I have gone through the survey and data. So city looks like city has spent a lot of money in whole California. I think more than 1 billion money was allocated, and in Santa Clara County area around 30 billion plus, which is doubled in last 5 years. So I think the money-wise, we have invested a great amount of money. So that our aim should be like 6 to 10% of people should use the commute for day-to-day purposes. And most of the other counties has, like Mountain View has done that in their budget, and they are seeing positive response. So I think I appreciate the city's effort to improve pedestrian safety. So the budget-wise, very good. The only thing is we have to prioritize this in a very good area where the traffic is very high, where we need a faster improvement. So we can allocate the priority of the areas where we have a lot of traffic. So I would like to see city explore innovative solutions like public-private partnership with some kind of vendor or some kind of business units, which can supplement the current budget and accelerate the development of comprehensive cycling and pedestrian network. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Watanabe.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying, Mr. Roy. So what do you think of the shared mobility program in Santa Clara, which includes bikes and scooters?
Yeah, I think shared mobility program basically adds a potential valuable addition to the city's transportation network. So I think they have two vendors like Lime and Bird who are participating in this program till June 30th, and they are doing very good, and they have shown some positive result. Lime I have used, and they have partnership with other vendors like Uber and other transportation company. So I think they're doing good, but there are some potential benefit and some challenges also. It helps to easy convenience, like shared bike scooters, often affordable way, and very low earning people can use it for shorter trips. And I myself is using from almost many years and months. It will also reduce the traffic congestion, so traffic will be low, and we can, the peak time office people can have a easy, smooth ride to their offices. It will also save the environmental impact, because it will save the environment-friendly alternatives to car, and that can be electric as well. So it's a very good initiative. Some of the challenges we have to see, like there are some safety concerns for both the rider and the pedestrian, so those need to be tackled in a proper parking places need to be provided. Clutter and accessibility is another concern that biker can face. So we need to see those potential challenges, and there should be some regulation and enforcement for the pedestrian, the bikers, and others, so that everybody can follow the regulations for the safety and for other bikers as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Councilmember Park.
Thank you very much, sir. What do you think of implementing Vision Zero program in the city of Santa Clara?
Thank you for your question. So the Vision Zero program aiming to eliminate the traffic deaths and severe injuries, which has a potential to be very positive addition to Santa Clara traffic safety landscape. So I fully support the Vision Zero program for the city of Santa Clara, which has a multidisciplinary approach, bringing together diverse and necessary stakeholders to address the complex problem. So it achieves strong points, like we have a safety first agenda. So safety is for everyone is the priority, the pedestrian, the cyclist, and the motorist as well. The data-driven approach we can use for based on the AI and machine learning, that high-risk areas and accident patterns or prone areas, we can implement the Vision Zero area in the first phase and subsequently other phase. Also, we need to have some kind of holistic strategy beyond just informants, focusing and engineering of safer road, educating the users and encouraging the responsible behavior. So those strategy and strong points we can use. And we should also have a long-term vision so that we have zero fatalities. The program should foster a commitment to continue the improvement in the traffic safety. So this can be done more potential consideration, like we can have community engagement, we can have funding with the business and ongoing projects. We can have data collection, AI analysis continues to see the potential benefit and what are the near misses where is happening. So this is definitely a very big and efficient points for Vision Zero. Thank you for question.
Thank you. And the last question is from Vice Mayor Becker.
Thank you for replying. So, how would you categorize and address challenges for elderly, expectant mothers, toddlers, and others who may not easily walk or bicycle to destinations like, but not limited to, grocery stores, schools, and restaurants?
Yeah, so thank you for your question. So many people have challenges when it comes to walking or cycling to reach their destination, like they have a physical limitation, some are elderly, so they have a limitation of difficulty in walking, reduced mobility, fatigue, and a lot of things. So apart from that, those who are expected mothers, physical discomfort, the toddlers, and other have disabilities and injuries and chronic illness. So they have the challenges. The distance is another challenges. The lack of infrastructure is another challenges where they can face. The weather conditions like rain and snow or severe heat can other challenges we face. Apart from the limitation of the public transportation in some of the areas, inconvenient route. So the solutions may be big and very efficient way. So we can improve the public transportation, which is a little bit low in some of the areas. So we can reach out to the underserved areas initially. We can have buses and trains and ramps in designated sittings can be arranged. We can have paratransit services for those who cannot use the regular public transportation. We can have crossing guards to help the people during these heavy or high school areas or school hours. We can also have a micro-mobility options, implementing dockless bike sharing program with option of e-bike and cargo bikes. We can explore the electric scooter as well. We can also consider wheelchair rentals for short distance travel. And we can have also accessibility infrastructure. So those can also help for sidewalks in both the areas and street and ensure that proper maintenance is there. We can also install the pedestrian crossing with audible signal and extendable walk time, so which can help and the pedestrian in better way. We can also run some community programs which with the help of the volunteers and subsidize the ride sharing programs to connect people. We can also encourage shops and grocery delivery services and partner with local businesses to distribute the subsidized delivery option. And with the help of technology and AI, we can have invest in some of the apps, ride-hailing apps, and partner with some transportation companies for requesting accessible vehicles for ride-sharing option for multiple passenger. And finally, we can have education and awareness continuously in various places in cities. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's time now for your up to 1 minute closing statement.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm really thankful to giving me an opportunity for this interview. I think I'm very much confident with the skills and dedication and support of the city council members, the mayor. We can make Santa Clara a better place for the pedestrian and the motorbikers. And we had a very productive discussion with all the three members, so I appreciate everybody's participation and giving the opportunity. So moving forward, I think we should focus working on the bikers and pedestrian safety in a better way to have a zero loss life zero loss of life. So we can make Santa Clara a greater and safe for walkable citizens, those who walk and use bicycle in day-to-day their work. So I would like to thank you, and I think I can leverage my skills and my experience of volunteering and participating in different projects can help, and with the support of all members.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for that. So that's the extent of our candidates for the Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee. We're going to vote now, so please stay with us. And City Clerk, would you like to explain the voting? It's pretty simple, I think, for 3.
Yes.
But I also want to say we're going to vote for a member and an alternate in the event a member resigns within 6 months or something like that. Can you
Sure. If
explain
it's
that
a
as well?
Council's desire to place someone on an eligibility list, which will be in place for 6 months, should a vacancy occur from now and within 6 months. Pursuant to the guidelines that you have in your packet, if there's 4 or less candidates, then you would be voting for one person. So if you'd like, we can begin, and I'll just take it down.
Why don't you say a name and then we vote? I don't know.
So usually I ask for you to cast your vote, and then I've got my little tally sheet here, and then I'll,
Okay.
if that's. Okay, so we'll start with Councilmember Becker. Please cast your vote for 1.
Hung.
Councilmember Hardy.
Guillermo.
Councilmember Jane.
Guillermo.
Mayor Gilmore.
Guillermo.
Councilmember Shahal.
Guillermo.
Councilmember Watanabe.
Guillermo.
And Councilmember Park.
Hung.
All right, so is that 6 votes?
So that's 5 votes for
5,
Guillermo.
I didn't hear Councilmember Becker, so.
Oh, Councilmember Becker was for Hung.
Hung, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Okay, is there a motion to appoint Guillermo Gennaro Rabadon?
So be it.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second for Guillermo. We use our pads now, right?
Yes, just a moment, I'm setting it up.
We're way ahead of you, City Clerk.
I know.
We talk faster than you can type.
Okay. Sorry, maker is Becker, seconded by Shahal or Jane? I'm sorry.
Shahal.
Thank you.
Please register your vote. And that passes unanimously. Now, do we want to appoint for the eligibility list? The person that got the next number of votes was Hung?
Sure, if it is
there a
the
motion for
pleasure of
that?
the council to do so.
Second.
For Hung Duong to be on the eligibility list, and what that means is if there's a vacancy on the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Commission in the next 6 months, then Hung would automatically be appointed to that. Believe me, I wish we had 3 appointments tonight. They were all 3 excellent, excellent candidates. Okay, please register your vote for the eligibility list for Hung Duong. And that passes unanimously. Thank you, and thank you to everyone who applied. And congratulations, Guillermo. And the city clerk's office will contact you? Is that
Yes, so
the way
my
it
staff will
works?
contact Guillermo and let him know to come in and have his oath of office.
Have your oath of
administered.
office, so the city clerk's office will contact you. Thank you. All right, we're going to move now next to the Board of Library Trustees. And city clerk, we're slightly behind schedule, so city clerk. we
Thank you,
have-
Madam Mayor. So you will now interview to fill 2 full terms ending June 30th, 2028 for the Board of Library Trustees. And our first applicant, I believe, is here, Andrew Quinn Alvarez.
Welcome.
And I'm
Thank you for
sorry,
having me.
I'm sorry,
What?
I failed to make a annotation that inadvertently the applications for the Board of Library Trustees was not loaded. It was the incorrect applications, but they have currently been loaded as a supplemental, and they'll appear under the item as of tomorrow. So I apologize for that
Oh, no, that's
oversight.
fine. Thank you very much. And welcome. You have to have, I can't talk, up to 3 minutes to give us your opening statement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am Andrew Alvarez. I was born and raised in Santa Clara. As a kid, I used to every summer partake in the summer reading program. During this time, I enjoyed reading books and would look for interesting books to read, such as the Boxcar Kids there. While living here, I attended Santa Clara High School and frequently went to the library to study. Some of my favorite memories of high school were studying or working on a project with friends at the library and then going to Taco Bell afterwards as a treat. As a reward for studying so hard. I desire to be a trustee in order to make sure everyone has the ability to get ahead in school or just casually enjoy the library's resources. Thank you for your time.
Oh, very good. Thank you. All right. I think we left off. Councilmember Hardy, you have the first question.
Do. Let me turn the page. Sorry about that. How do you think libraries need to adapt and change to be more relevant to residents?
Thank you. I believe libraries should expand. Since Santa Clara is such a diverse community, I believe more works in multiple languages is needed. I know there's a big Hindu population here, so Hindi, Telugu is important, as well as, I believe, expanding upon Mandarin and Cantonese as well in Spanish sections. I believe that there should be more youth activities in the libraries, especially in Mission and the North Side libraries. Central Park tends to do pretty well with youth activities. For example, the homework help for that's in Central Park is not in North Side or Mission. I believe it should definitely be in Mission, given its proximity to both Bookstore Middle School and St. Clair, both of which I believe have students that would probably benefit from allocating resources for homework help. As well, I believe that there should be more interactions between the public schools and the libraries. I remember going to Santa Clara High School and also Bookstore for assigned readings over the summer, also assigned readings during the school year. And many times, some students did not have books. And their library did not have the certain IBSN number that would match the assigned reading. So many times they would have to print out books from the computer. And then, and that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Jane.
Thank you, Andrew. How do you see your role and responsibilities as a library trustee?
Well, my primary would be overseeing the general management of the library, making sure the events go off without a hitch, making sure that the youth and adults both are able to partake in events and show interest in coming back to the library. Also, planning interactive events and expanding library resources.
Thank you. Are you aware that our libraries lend out more than just books and movies?
I am aware. Video games is one of them.
Yeah.
Bike locks, I believe state park passes, one per, yeah. And then audiobooks, Chromebooks, and Think cameras.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Chahal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying, Andrew.
Thank you.
How should our libraries be better serve our unhoused population in residents in city of Santa Clara?
Thank you for the question. Well, with a lot of the homeless, they lack the necessary resources to get back on their feet. For example, they don't have access to the internet many times. And nowadays, especially post-COVID, it is very important to have access to internet in order to apply to jobs. So allowing them Zoom access would be a key feature that I believe their library should install. Also have them use the library address, whichever one they prefer, in order to have letters come to them. And I also believe that there should be a recycled phone station for the unhoused so that we can refurbish the phones and make sure that the unhoused can use those phones to check emails, to call employers and the like. And also, I believe that we could also expand by having Nova or Work to Future services, which are state and federal grant. They're funded through state and federal grants, which help people get back on their feet, as well as low-income people find jobs, and people who've been recently fired from jobs or asked to resign.
Thank you for excellent answer.
Okay, thank you so much. Boy, we only have 4 questions, so it's now time for your up to 1-minute closing statement. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, thank you. I believe Santa Clara would benefit to have more youth groups at the libraries while expanding resources and services in some libraries to others to mitigate disparities. I value helping the unhoused re-enter the workforce by providing them with the resources to do so. I would like to work more closely with schools in the area to provide books needed for assigned class readings. And I hope to help Santa Clara Libraries expand to face challenging needs in the city. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Excellent interview. Thank you so much, Andrew, for applying. You're welcome to stay and wait. We're going to be making a decision after our interviews. And we have, let's see, 2. We have 4, so 3 more. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next applicant, or your next applicant, is Daniel Huynh.
Welcome, Daniel. When you're ready.
Hello again, Council. Out of all the commissions I've applied, my name is Daniel, and out of all the commissions I've applied for, and while all of them are important and personal, this commission is perhaps the most important personal to me, because the library has always been a special place in my heart. I'm a regular at Central Park Library and often walk there since it's close to my home. Growing up there, I remember I remember seeing its present form being built as I passed by, and I would have fond memories of it, especially when I was at Santa Clara High. That being said, I want this and all other libraries to be the best ones we deserve, as well as for future generations to have similar great experiences with our libraries that I had, along with how we can ensure our libraries can best serve our communities as much as they can. I have some great ideas for specific objectives, as I've mentioned in my application, do just that. Libraries are centers for our community together. They are prime examples of local government taking care of our community from cradle to grave through a number of services.
Thank you. So we're going to start the questioning with Councilmember Watanabe.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for replying. So, how do you think libraries need to adapt and change to be more relevant to residents?
Well, the library have done so in terms of technology such as online resources, lending out ebooks, newspapers, magazines, and also allowing residents for internet access and, of course, video games. But to provide a broader answer for libraries to adopt and change, to be more relevant to residents, they need to adopt and change in order to conform to the need of our residents, particularly residents' community needs. Libraries are meeting spots for residents to form a sense of community among them and for our great city. For To adapt and change to be relevant to residents, the library must provide the service needed to remain catalysts for the curation of community among residents, such as hosting community events. These services must reflect the residents' diverse needs, specifically in regards to education, and another variety of such services will be in regards to civics, with a prime example being libraries serving as voting centers.
Thank you. Councilmember Park?
Yes, thank you, Daniel. Thank you for applying. How do you see your role and responsibilities as a library trustee?
Well, the things that stood out to me in the official outline rules and responsibility for the Library Board of Trustees is that it makes and enforces bylaws, rules, regulations for the administration of the library, and is primarily responsible for the establishment, acceptance, and continued supervision of the public library program. So therefore, the responsibility and the role and responsibility of a library trustee is not only to maintain libraries and their programs, but also come up with and establish new bylaws, rules, and regulations for the administration of the library to allow for public libraries to, again, adopt and change to be more relevant to residents with the addition of new programs and services.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Vice Mayor Becker?
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Daniel, for applying. My question for you is, are you aware that our libraries lend out more than just books and movies?
Oh yes, I'm well aware that the library lends out much more than just books and movies. I've already mentioned a couple, like, for example, newspapers, magazines, internet access, video games, that whole lot. But perhaps more importantly, the library lends out space for community events. For examples of this include already mentioned the vote centers and with government organizations such as VTA and, of course, city council and commissions, gathering public input, views, and opinions on projects and proposed policy and legislation. Some things in the past that were provided by the library was that State Senator Bob Wachowski had a field representative come into Central Park Library, among other libraries throughout our State Senate district, to host office hours to help constituents, particularly with state-related matters. I would love not only to restore this practice with State Senator Wahab, but also whoever becomes our new State Assembly member and Congressman Ro Khanna, to provide important government services with the state and federal governments to our residents via our libraries. And going back to education, there are ESL-related services, such as the ESL Book Club at Central Park Library and the Conversation Club at Northside and Mission, genealogy consultants, help for mothers, legal aid with lawyers, and info events with immigrant rights, landlord/tenant counseling. I actually brought an old classmate of mine for help with that, along with services for people to get their GED, high school diploma, and adult tutoring, reading via Read at Santa Clara. I would love to have more of these programs to better address residents' need, along with new programs to address new/other needs. And for those interested, more community service opportunities, such as being a volunteer tutor with literacy nonprofits such as Read Santa Clara or Reading Partners.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy?
Yes. How should our libraries better serve our unhoused residents in Santa Clara?
The library has provided some service in regards to the unhoused. The tenant landlord consultant does prevent homelessness, and we do have mobile showers. We should employ more of these services, but just as our library invokes a cradle-to-grave model in terms of its current services, we must better serve our unhoused residents with a unhoused-to-house model. We should aim to ensure and improve our library's ability to provide the resources our homeless neighbors need to help them, especially help to get them off the streets and into safe, secure homes housing. More examples of this include providing more job training and ways for our unhoused residents to connect with services like that of the county and nonprofits to enable them to get affordable housing, as at the very least shelters where they'd be much safer than being unhoused on the street where they'll be exposed to the elements, such as the hot summer, freezing winter, and the dangers of the streets. Moreover, we need to be more proactive in identifying residents who visit and are by our library and approach them about ways for them to get housed.
Thank you. And now, Daniel, it's time for your up to 1 minute closing statement.
We have a great library system. We've been recovering since the pandemic. One matter would be that we should fully restore our hours and achieve that end by hiring more full-time staff and opening up more volunteer opportunities, specifically for high school students who need the community service hours to graduate and for college. Then there's promoting the library's monthly book sales. In closing, I pay close attention to details of the library whenever I make my frequent stops, and it will be an honor to serve our great city through particularly our great library system with this seat on the commission.
Very good. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you for applying, and please, well, I think you've applied for other commissions as well. I was going to say, please stay with us. Just shortly, we'll be making a decision. Thank you. City Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The next applicant chose to participate via Zoom. I see an Andrew online, but I'm not sure if that's Andrew Ma. I don't want to assume. So if Andrew, who's online, if that's you, can you please raise your hand in order for me to promote you to panelist? Perfect, thank you. We'll promote him quickly here. Hi, Andrew. Please unmute and turn on your camera if you can, please.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Hello, Andrew. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. When you're ready, Andrew, you can start with your up to 3 minute introduction before we ask questions. Welcome.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew. I am an analog mixed signal circuit designer working in semiconductor chip design. I was born and raised in the Bay Area. I did my undergrad and grad school here, and I've always been around the area. Now I'm actually living in Santa Clara and working in Santa Clara. Central Park has always, I've actually always been to the Central Park Library. I used to go there every weekend to study, and that was before COVID. And then this place has always been dear to me, and I would like to see this library program thrive. So having received so much from the library, I would like to have a chance to give back. And that's why I applied for this commission. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to start our questioning with Councilmember Jane.
Thank you, Andrew. How do you think libraries need to adapt and change to be more relevant to residents?
That's a good question. I think the first thing for Santa Clara, at least Central Park Library, is to open on Sundays and to maybe answer the question how to revive the cafe. That would probably be the most impact immediate. I do think the budget was approved for that, at least for the Sundays. And I think as we see more shift toward everything going digital and more digital resources being available, the need for human connection becomes even more important. So along the lines of Comic-Con, where we try to get many people together and just like share an event together, there are events. So this is just an example. There's like an event called Head West Marketplace where they invite local artists to it's like a farmer's market or a crafts fair where there's just like streets of vendors. They had one in Los Altos a few weeks ago. And that would be a great place where we can invite local artists and to engage with the community as well to become, it's just a good place for community driven events. And I think, yeah, just to encourage, so along the lines of our shared space is just to encourage community-driven events and programming. I know that we have some ESL programs, we have some teen programs, but just to have more, try to increase community involvement so that the programs are more what the patrons want.
Thank you. So the next question I have is, how do you see your role and responsibilities as a library trustee?
So as library trustee, I believe that we are tasked with being faithful stewards of the public library system, this is the Santa Clara Library Program. And I guess we would need to understand the needs of our community and how to better serve them, and then communicating this back to council. And this could include communicating with um, other boards like city parks for larger events. Um, so I think before COVID, before people had to shelter in place, I remember going to Central Park to play Pokemon Go, and I would see like hundreds of people. And then we would go to the library as well to see what they had there, and then grab a coffee and just keep playing. So we could work with the Public Parks Commission as well. But I think the biggest thing is trying to bring a different background and different voice to the board, and that would be where I think I could bring a different voice to the board. Yeah.
Very good, thank you. Councilmember Chahal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying, Andrew. Are you aware that our libraries lend more than books and movies?
Yes, I am aware. There's a lot of digital media available online, as well as online courses and databases, Ancestry.com, language learning tools, Mango, New York Times, etc.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Watanabe.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Andrew, for applying. How should our libraries better serve our unhoused residents in Santa Clara?
Thank you. That was a very good question. I think I also need to understand this a little better, but I do know that especially when homelessness increased in the pandemic, most people turned to libraries for a place for shelter, and the library tends to be the forefront of dealing with homelessness, and so this question frequently comes up. But I think for in a capacity as a library and how we can do it, there are a couple ideas came to mind. One would be like the free seminars we have for, I guess, financial literacy. There could be one for the American healthcare system and insurance. Populations served by this initiative could also include immigrants unfamiliar with the healthcare system. Another potential avenue that could be explored is, I think there's a program called Dignity on Wheels that has mobile showers for them. I know if some of the other patrons could be more sensitive to smells, and this could be unpleasant for some, then this would allow people to have dignity and also just use a library and just be a regular patron without feeling the need to be judged. And then there's I think it's a very difficult question, and it's probably something that is I would like need to look into this more. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Andrew. Those are our questions. So if you would like to give us up to a 1-minute closing statement for something that you'd like to, additional information you'd like to give us.
Okay, yeah, sure. So again, first of all, thank you all for your time. Yeah, the library is, again, a very special place to me. I went to one of the author talks last weekend that was co-sponsored by the Chinese Historical and Cultural Project. It was inspiring to see how libraries can bring so many people together, different organizations together, and just be a very welcoming place for community. Library is a place where people share their stories. And yeah, so and if selected, I would hope to bring a different background and a different perspective, and it would be a great opportunity to give back.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for applying. And if you just stay tuned with us, we're going to be making a decision after our next interview. But thanks again for the application.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, City Clerk.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. Your next applicant is G. Salim Mohammed, and he's here in person.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here in front of you today. My name is Salim Mohammed. I, by way of background, I would say, so I have an MBA. I worked in the financial aid business, undergraduate financial aid business, before I went back to school. And the MBA was in the last century, really. So I went back to school and got a degree in geography, and then followed that with a degree in library science. And so this is the second career of mine. I first got a job as the map and GIS librarian at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And then I created something called Manoa Magis over there. It talks about aerials, maps, and geographic information systems. And then after that, I was the head and curator of the David Rumsey Map Center at Stanford University. It's an intersection between digital technology and rare maps, 14th century, 15th century maps. So that's by way of background. Last year, I changed jobs, and I am now one of two college librarians at San Jose City College. So I am very much a librarian, and I think maybe I hope it's obvious I'm very interested in this position. I live on the west side of Santa Clara, and I'm an 11-year resident. I'm really vested in this process, and now that I moved back to San Jose, Santa Clara. I mean, I'm at San Jose City College. I think I have more time to engage with the city, and so that's why I'm here.
Very good, thank you. So we have your first question with Councilmember Park.
Hello, Mr. Mohammed. Thank you very much for applying. How do you think libraries need to adapt and change to be more relevant to residents?
Thanks for the question. So I think there are a series of things that we need to do and adapt. I think it begins with data. You want to know what's going on, right? And if a data assessment hasn't been made, that's the first thing you want to do. You want to conduct a thorough assessment of the community's needs, interests, use surveys, focus groups, that sort of thing. You do outreach and understand what our current residents need. I think it's really, really important that our collections reflect the diversity in the state, in the city, in our city. So we want to expand and diversify the library's collections to reflect the cultural, linguistic, and informational needs of the community. So it could be books, resources, programming, multimedia materials. I think digital access, I know we know that is a big part of libraries, but enhancing that, providing high-speed internet, computer workstations for people who don't have internet, and technical support, the people, the bridge between the actual computer and the thing that they want. Programming and events are really large here at the city library. I've attended many programs, particularly at North Library. So I have two kids, one's 9, the other's 11, and so my family and I, frequent the library. I work in a library. I'm in the library on the weekends. We just find where the programs are that meet our needs. We also go to other libraries, Mountain View, City of Sunnyvale, Palo Alto, Saratoga, and I really keep my eyes and ears open to see what else is going on. So that also helps me understand what maybe our city can offer. So I think community partnerships is another thing, forging a partnership with schools, community colleges, businesses, nonprofits. I want things that can enhance the library's role as a hub, a community hub. Accessibility and inclusivity is really, really important. Make sure the facilities, services are accessible and inclusive to all users. We just can't take that for granted. We want to make sure everybody gets a fair chance. I think it's really important to mention that, the library is a pillar of democracy. And because it's a pillar of democracy, it's really at the grassroots level, equalizing the services for all those people. Outreach engagement would be another thing. Sustainability is really important. I think, given climate change, it's really important that libraries are on the forefront of that. I think the Silicon Valley Reads program is a really great example of how the libraries could be involved. I think these are some of the things that we need to do.
Thank you, and we have 3 more questions, so just keep that in mind. Thank you. Vice Mayor Becker?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying. My question for you is, how do you see your role and responsibilities as a library trustee?
Yeah, so I think there are some sort of cut and dry things. Governance and policy would be one of the things right from the get-go. Helping and governing the library system, setting policies, establishing goals and objectives, ensuring library operates in accordance with legal and ethical standards. Strategic planning is a big part of it, right? I think the board is a big part of that, working together with the other members of the board and the librarian and their staff to meet goals, to prioritize initiatives. I think here it's really important to get the perspective of somebody who uses the library a lot. As a family, we do that quite a bit. I've got that vested interest. I think evaluating and supporting library leadership is really important. As a librarian, I understand what a library needs, at least at the academic level. I certainly know quite a bit about public libraries, and I can lend my expertise. Promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion is really, really important. I think in all those policies, then there needs to be that strand. Obviously, technology and innovation is another one, but I think the main thing to do, one of the main things I want to bring is I see all of this through the lens of a family and a family user, and as well as a librarian and a technology-savvy person. So I hope these combination perspectives really bring something to the library. Yeah.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy.
Yes. You somewhat touched on this, but are you aware that our libraries lend out more than just books and movies?
Yeah, so it's a really long list. I started writing them down, and then I said, I'm going to stop. It's an endless list. I've been, my first library job was at a college in Minnesota, and I've been involved in libraries. So we shouldn't forget, at the very basis, yes, there are books and there are videos, but reference services are really, really important. You come in with a question, there has to be somebody mediating that. Reference librarians are really important. Research is really important. Computing needs, things that your libraries do really, really well. The seed bank is a fantastic thing that Central has. Programming, I think North Library has done an amazing job. All the libraries have, but that one particularly, especially in the last year and 2 years before that, programming for adults, kids, career planning, taxes, Comic-Con, someone mentioned that, state park passes, book sales, games and gaming, it's endless.
Thank you. Councilmember Jane.
Thank you, Salim. How should our libraries better serve our unhoused residents in Santa Clara?
Thank you for that question. I think it's a really important one, and I definitely want to spend a couple minutes on that. So first of all, to the basics, safe and welcoming spaces. We want to make sure that we have that at the library. Non-judgmental spaces where unhoused individuals can access resources, rest, and engage in activities without stigma or discrimination. That's really, really important. I think the question itself, in the question you say unhoused residents, I think the key thing is they are residents. Yes, they are in a house. So we need to make sure that their needs are met to the best of the city's ability, right? So the library is a place of information. So we are there to navigate the resources for the folks who don't understand how to get to them. So we are the mediator. The librarians are the mediator. I think that's really, really important. Obviously, basic needs support, partner with local organizations, shelters, service providers, maybe hygiene kits would be a good idea, clothing, donations, meals and snacks. I think it's really important to pause a little bit and see the role of the library here. We're not a social service part. We are a partner with other social services at the city, I think, in my opinion. I mean, the library is there to partner with others and make sure there's a place and we bring it in. So some of those partnerships would be with social service agencies, mental health professionals, outreach teams, mental health resources tailored to the needs. Technology access, I think the idea of cell phones is a great one. Thank you for that. There were other things that I wanted to mention, but I think having a lot of times you need to call someone and you don't have a phone. Everything is on the cell, and that sort of thing, so that's really great. Community engagement's another one. Crisis intervention is really important. I think that libraries need to be trained in trauma-informed care, de-escalation techniques, crisis intervention protocols. A lot of people, just come into the library expecting help. So people need to be trained in order to help them. And then, more importantly, figure out how to get the help they need, because maybe they can't help them, right? That's really important. I think, sort of to sum it up, you want to foster a culture of empathy, inclusivity, and support within the library system, and play your part within the city services, right? The perspective of the city. I think that would take care of it.
Thank you for that. So when you're ready, we have up to a 1-minute closing statement.
Thank you, Mayor. So as I mentioned before, I am an 11-year resident of the city of Santa Clara, and I am probably at my last tenure in terms of jobs. I probably have maybe 10, 15 years of work left, and legacy has become much more important to me, and that's part of the reason I left Stanford and started working for San Jose City College. The kind of student I have at Stanford, the problems a Stanford student has, very different from a city college, community college student. So I want to leave a legacy that lasts, that's very basic, but of giving, of being able to serve the city, in my last 10, 15 working years. And bring in my expertise as a librarian, but also as a user and a resident. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Very complete. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Mayor, that concludes
That's it. City Clerk.
your applicants. So for the Board of Library Trustees, you are filling 2 full-term seats. So we've got 4 applicants. If you'd like to vote for 2. How does the council feel about that?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
2 seats.
Mm-hmm.
Very
2
good.
seats.
And then we're going to have one as do we take
You
one?
can have 1, you can have 2. It's whatever the council chooses
Okay.
to be on the
start
eligibility list, right? Is that what
with
you want?
the eligibility.
Sure.
I called it the waiting list, the
waiting list.
eligibility list, yes. So let's start with our 2 selections
Okay.
for the 2 seats.
Councilmember Becker, would you like to please cast your vote for 2?
Sure. These were all very great applicants and a very tough decision to make here. So my decision is Daniel Young and G. Salim Mohammed.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy.
This is hard. Daniel Ewan and G. Salim Mohammed.
Councilmember Jane.
The same, Daniel and Salim.
Mayor Gilmore.
I'm selecting Andrew Alvarez and G. Salim Mohammed.
Councilmember Shahal.
Daniel and G. Salim Mohammed.
Councilmember Watanabe.
Thank you. Andrew Alvarez and G. Salim Mohammed. Thank you.
Councilmember Park.
So it seems like a popular vote, but I'm going to go with Daniel and Mr. Mohammed.
So may I have a motion? Are they both expired terms? I mean, full terms, or is there no one left?
full
So they're both equal terms? So may I have a motion for Salim Mohammed and Daniel Hoon?
Motion.
Second.
Please register your vote. And that passes 6-1. Could I also have a motion for the other two applicants to be put on our eligibility list?
I was just going to make that motion. Andrew
Okay. Would you-
Alvarez and Andrew Ma to be on our eligibility list
All right, may I have a second for
for
that?
the next 6
We have a
months.
motion and a second for that. Thank you. Councilmember Park.
Yeah, actually, when I heard the, I think that the voting doesn't really adequately reflect the quality of the candidates. I actually thought all the candidates were really good. I think the problem in this case was that we could only vote for two. And it seems like a minor thing, but would the maker of the motion consider both? I mean, if you say, which do you want Andrew to be on the alternate list, my answer was yes. Which, Andrew? Yes.
Did you listen to the motion, Councilmember Park? It was for both applicants.
Okay, then
You
I'm
were
good.
talking so much you didn't listen to the motion.
Okay, I still got
It
a
was
couple more
both
things to
applicants.
say.
Okay, so motion and a second for both applicants on the eligibility list. Councilmember Park, you have something to say to that?
No, that's good.
Okay. All right.
Could you remind me who was, Councilmember Hardy?
Who made the second? Councilmember Chahal.
Thank you.
So what that means is if there is a vacancy in the next 6 months, then we will bring both applicants back to probably interview again, but just both Andrews, if they're interested to come back and then automatically go into a position. Oh, please register your vote. And that passes unanimously. Thank you very much, and thank you to all the applicants. You were all excellent. I wish we had 4 positions for that. I'm also going to ask that we take a 5-minute comfort.
Yeah, I wondered why.
All right, are we okay back there? Are we ready? We're good? Okay, very good. All right, welcome back, everyone. Our next interview is for the Civil Service Commission, City Clerk, and it's one appointment.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, this is for one full-term appointment ending June 30th of 2028. The questions come up. Yes, Tahir Naeem is an incumbent. He is currently serving. His term will end June 30th of this year. At the time, as you know, our process, we came before you in February. We reached out to all the incumbents who, if there was a desire to continue, to bring that before you. You voted for all your incumbents. At that time, Mr. Naeem was not sure if he wanted to continue, and therefore he is reapplying.
Okay, very good. That makes sense. All right, we start with our first applicant, Steve Chan. Okay, very good. I see he's here. Welcome, Steve, when you're ready.
Alrighty. My name is Steve Chan, and I have been a resident here in the city of Santa Clara for over 40 years. During that time, I worked with the Santa Clara Police Department for 8 years, subsequently spent, I think it's 18, 19 years in the Civil Service Commission after I resigned from the Santa Clara Police Department because of conflict of interest. I believe very strongly in the work that we've done in civil service. There's certainly routine items that we deal with, job descriptions, approvals, to use the term administrivia of this, that, and the other thing. Probably the toughest thing that I've had in civil service is border reviews. These are usually terminations of employees. It impacts people, impacts organizations, it impacts departments. And giving the employee the opportunity for a fair way for adjudication is probably one of the biggest things that we have done. I've probably led perhaps some of the most contentious border reviews, some lasting, I believe it was 3.5 to 4 months. And ultimately, we found for the city, if you will, an upheld determination. I did this all with a high level of integrity. In most of these cases, they involved the police department. The appellants had no issues with me serving as an adjudicator, nor did the city, because I like to think myself as being very fair and very ethical. Beyond my work with the police department, my numerous years with civil service, I also spent a term with the Santa Clara County Grand Jury, where we did a number of different things, but one of the most difficult things, and once again, not shirking away from responsibility, is an issue related to an elected official, and which resulted ultimately in that person resigning from office. So with that, I look to apply for civil service because of my previous service, because of my familiarity, and I like to think the level of integrity in which I bring to the responsibility.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe I have the first question, Steve. Do you have any thoughts about the high vacancy rate of our staff?
When you say high vacancy rate, are you referring to employees leaving employment of the city or unfilled positions?
Probably, maybe a little of both, but unfilled positions, yes, the vacancy. We have a lot of vacancy.
You know, I'm not sure whether it relates to recruitment, people understanding that the jobs are open, the job requirements being job appropriate for what we're really looking for. we're always trying to get the best of employees because, quite frankly, this is the venerable group here, but rubber meets the road, it is our employees. We try to hire the best, we try to select the best, and we try to do that in a fair and impartial manner. To be honest with you, I don't know. I think our outreach has been generally good, but perhaps there's something we can do that's a little bit more. But then again, with civil service opportunities, you know, if the economy is good, people are going into the private sector because their impression is it's more money, for lack of a better term. When things are stepped back a little, and I'm not going to say it is right now, people might look a little bit more towards stability in civil service.
Thank you. Councilmember Chahal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for applying, Steve, again. The question is quite similar, but a little bit different than what Mayor asked. Do you have any thoughts about why it takes so long to hire someone in Santa Clara after a position has been approved and budgeted?
You know, you're making an assumption and a statement that I believe you're feeling is accurate. I'm not aware that it does take time. Certainly, this isn't like private sector. You open a position, you assumably interview and make a decision, and you're done. We have a series of processes and procedures. We have job descriptions, we have recruitments, we have a review of those applicants, we have testing, we have oral boards. You know, our process does take a little bit longer, and through that process, we may be losing some good candidates, but, you know, if there's a way to expedite the process, certainly I'm in favor of that, assuming that whatever we're doing is the right move and proper to get the right people.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Watanabe.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your passion for public service. So my question for you is, do you have any suggestions to improve recruitment of new employees?
I would say generally taking a look at what our outreach is, reviewing that, and just looking at a blank slate, what can we do more to get individuals for that profession or that job opportunity, or perhaps entry-level opportunities to have people be more interested in service with the city. You know, if we're looking, you know, there's some areas that are highly competitive, the electric utility. These people are, there aren't that many, and they're very difficult to get. And at the same time, potentially difficult to retain. It's a very lucrative business to be in, but very good question.
Thank you. Councilmember Park.
Thank you very much, sir. Are you aware, as a Civil Service Commissioner, that you would need to file 700 forms and describe where your income comes from? Are you willing to fulfill this requirement?
Absolutely. I have filled out many of them before and have no concerns.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. So that leads us to your up to 1 minute closing statement.
Well, once again, thank you for taking the time to hear me and consider me for this opportunity. There's a time-worn phrase of been there, done that. With that, I'll append to that and say, yes, been there, done that, with a proven level of integrity. Not once, twice, but many years over and throughout various entities. So I look for your support this evening so I can continue to, quite frankly, serve the city. My interest is in serving the city at this level. It's been said in the point because I came in many years ago in the Eddie Souza era. And it said, and Eddie encouraged me, this is a great stepping stone to city council. Not really. I'm very happy serving where I am, and I think I can do the most good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. And we'll be making a decision right after the rest of the interviews this evening, so you're welcome to stay here. All right, thank you very much. Who next, City Clerk?
Sure. Next applicant to hear, Naeem.
Hello, welcome.
Good evening, members of the Council of Our Fair City. My name is Tahir Joel Naeem, and I am currently the Vice Chair of the Civil Service Commission. I could have taken automatic reappointment, but as I explained to Councilmember Chahal, and I'll explain to you, at that time I was thinking I might apply for a different commission position. I did not find one that I wanted to apply for, and so I have applied for this position now. If there are better candidates than myself, then I will of course stand aside, but I offer myself and my services again. I'm going to take this opportunity also to mention one thing. We have this appointments list, but one of the issues in the Civil Service Commission in my term has been having a quorum. And on some of the organizations I'm with, where I serve as a delegate, we have alternate delegates who can stand forward in case someone is absent. What I'd like to submit for your consideration is that perhaps in addition to these persons who are qualified but can't get on the commission, but are on the appointment list, that they actually be offered the role of being an alternate should it be that the commission would not otherwise have a quorum. We have had several meetings where we have not had a quorum and they have been canceled. And with that, I will go on to your questions.
Thank you. We're going to start with Vice Mayor Becker.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for reapplying. Do you have any thoughts about the high vacancy rate of our city staff?
Well, I've thought about that a little bit. And to be honest, where I would go with that is, like Steve here, I'm not entirely sure why. We have outreach and we have service here, but vacancies have been something that's an issue throughout the county, it seems like, just to put it that way. And we do know that we have something of a demographic shrinkage. More people are retiring than people are entering the workforce necessarily. And we have the private sector to compete with, who may or may not be offering a better position or better pay, because some of our positions are certainly very well paid and very competitive. We've had some openings with the SVP, and I understand that the collective bargaining unit has started an apprenticeship program to try and draw more people in. So with people coming in, finding a place to live, vacancies will hopefully go down.
Thank you. Councilmember Hardy.
Thank you. Do you have any thoughts about why it takes so long to hire someone in Santa Clara after a position has been approved and budgeted?
Boy, well, you know, we get the monthly requisition list, and we basically just approve it as an open item. We don't really look at it. I'm going to simply speculate that it's the cost of living here and the demographics, that in order to fill a position, it's just going to take process to advertise it and reach out. I know some of the roles we've had to renew the opening because there weren't enough applicants. In other cases, though, one of the things that concerned me, we have our eligibility list, and this will actually go to the next question. And we have had as many as 14 people on an eligibility list found completely unqualified for the job that they've been placed on the eligibility list for. And this was for an entry-level role with a high school education. It was really shocking. You look at, it's February 2022, look at those minutes. So one of the things there, I think, is, you know, screening and deciding, you know, who are these people who are applying, and looking into why aren't they qualified for an entry-level position. That was something that really surprised me. I looked at that with one of the other positions we had here, analyst role. I mean, the position pays $100,000 a year to start. You want to have qualified people for that, and part of that is going to be in the application process. So, not really a direct answer because, and let me just say here, one of the things that we have on our agenda is reports by commissioners. And one of the things that I would say about the questions I've been asked here today, or that any of these members are asked here today, is to take that back to the commission and set up a report as a commissioner to come back to the council with, or at least to come back to the commission and report what do we think are the answers to your questions.
All right, Councilmember Jane.
So do you have any suggestions for how to improve recruitment of new employees?
You know, that's one of those reporting questions that we should be looking to HR to help here. I know we go to job fairs. I've seen the postings for like police dispatch. We've started posting the salaries. Some communities are using bonuses. I'm not necessarily such a fan of signing bonuses, but it could be something to look at. But, you know, that's one of those things to do a commissioner report on and come back to council with. And that reminds me, you know, the dinner is coming up on June 25th, and I would suggest if there are other questions that council members have, to bring those to the dinner, and the commission should undertake to look into those.
I think the dinner was just canceled.
Council.
Yeah, lack of a quorum. Yeah, exactly what you said. Don't mean to laugh at that. That's not something. But anyways, all right. I have the last question. Are you aware of, as a civil service commissioner, you have to fill out Form 700s? I don't know the reason for the second part of this question. Are you willing to fulfill this requirement? I think it's a requirement, but yes.
Like the loyalty oath, you know.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Hold and defend. I'm only too familiar with the Form 700 and the deadline for filing it by and making sure to get that done. And so.
And you don't have a problem with
I don't
that?
have any problem
Okay,
with that.
very good. So that leads us to your up to 1 minute closing statement.
Well, if reappointed, I'll be happy to serve. And I think one of the things we don't have a question on maybe to ask is also about absences, but to go back to the quorum matter. Like myself, I was on vacation last week. There was a meeting last week. I was not in attendance. I have a college reunion coming up in June, same time as the next meeting. So, you know, that's one of those things. Now, it looks like I'm actually going to be here for that, but one of the things I think should be a question next time is your ability to attend meetings in order to have that. But I hope you will look into the idea of having people who are on the eligibility list actually have an opportunity to be a delegate in the case that current members can't actually perform a quorum. And with that, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and we'll be making a decision very quickly here. All right, City Clerk?
Okay, next applicant is Samuel Pumarejo.
Oh, that's very good. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, good evening, and before I begin, may I just say that it is a pleasure to make the acquaintance of each of you here tonight. My name is Samuel Pumarejo, and it's important that you understand that I am a Santa Claran by choice. I am not originally from this city. I was born and raised in New York City, and the past several years of my life have been spent in educational institutions. My first stop was at SUNY Cortland, a small state university in New York, where I spent 2 years before taking a leave of absence. I enlisted in the Army Reserve as a paralegal specialist prior to transferring to Columbia University. After completing my degree there, where I focused on political science, I moved on to a degree at Brown University, where I specialized in public policy and public affairs, as well as state management. After that, I realized that more education was needed if I was going to fulfill my purpose and my desire to serve people to the best and fullest extent possible. So I applied to and was very happy to receive admission to Santa Clara University School of Law. My fiance and I quickly packed our bags and we decided to move here, and we've been living here ever since, very happily, I might add. Now, if you're wondering why I have chosen this exact background and why there's been so much schooling in my life, there are two particular reasons for that. One, a genuine love of public service. It's why I enlisted. It's why every major or specialization that I've done in school has related to the public in some way. And it's why I'm going to be commissioned as an Army lawyer in the California Army National Guard upon graduation from Santa Clara Law School. It's also because of a conviction that I have in the ability of oneself, of one person, to use their education for the benefit of others, for the benefit of a community. It's why I decided to enroll in Santa Clara Law School in their inaugural public interest JD program. Now, make no mistake, I do have plans here in California, and I have plans here in Santa Clara. Partially, I want to make a home here in this great city by helping others. And make no mistake that no matter what your decision here is with respect to my candidacy, I pledge that I will be staying in this great city, and I will do my absolute best while I'm in law school, after graduation, to work with each of you as elected representatives and serve this great city. Thank you for your help, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for that. Okay, that opening. We're going to start with Councilmember Chahal. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for applying, Samuel. Do you have any thoughts about the high vacancy rate in city of Santa Clara?
I think it's very unfortunate. I think it's definitely a detriment to the city as a whole and to the ability of the city to be run as effectively and efficiently as it could be. It's not what the people of Santa Clara deserve, and it's not what they should be getting. And you, as the elected voices of this great city, know better than anyone what the people of this city deserve, and I think it has to be changed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Watanabe.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying, Samuel, former New Yorker here, born in Brooklyn. So my question for you is, do you have any thoughts about why it takes so long to hire someone in Santa Clara after a position has been approved and budgeted?
While I cannot say for sure, of course, I do believe that there is a fundamental disconnect between, I think this is really a national issue, as well as a state issue and a local one. But I think there's a fundamental disconnect between governments and the people that they serve. And I think that there has been an issue when it comes to communication as to what people can do to make a living for themselves while also serving their communities and helping their respective families.
Thank you. Councilmember Park.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for applying. Samuel, do you have any suggestions to improve recruitment of new employees?
So I would suggest that research be done partially by civil service commissioners themselves. If I were selected for this position, I would happily undertake this given my background with regards to public policy research on figuring out how areas, particularly civil service commissions, commissioners around this state, cities, perhaps in this county, have worked to improve the disconnect and the high vacancy rate. And then I would be very happy to get back to each and every one of you and work on a solution towards fixing this problem so that we don't have to ask this question for future applicants.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then finally with Vice Mayor Becker.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying, Samuel. So my question for you is, are you aware as a civil service commissioner, you would need to file 700 forms and disclose where your income comes from? And are you willing to fulfill this requirement?
I am well aware of that, and may I just say that as a law student, there wouldn't be much to put on there, but it would not be a problem, and I'd be more than willing.
Great, awesome, thank you.
And thank you. And that leads us to our 1-minute closing statement. Anything else you'd like to add?
I would just like to say that while it is very clear to juxtapose my experience with that of Mr. Chan or current Commission Member Naeem, that I do not have the experience, I can say that I have the passion and the genuine conviction. And I have worked quite literally my entire adult life to get to a chance like this, to serve a city, to serve a city's constituents. This is the best way that I know how right now, and I think that the ability and the calling to ensure that the city gets highly qualified civil service workers is one of the best ways to ensure that this city runs as effectively and efficiently as it should, and the people of this city get the kind of service they deserve. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And please stay with us. We're going to be making a decision very quickly. Thank you.
Okay. Madam Mayor, the next candidate is Ashish Mangla.
Okay. Welcome. When you're ready, Ashish, you can start your 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm Ashish, being a long-time resident and being a public service for over 2 decades. So I just want to give 2 minutes back, ask questions away.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Caught me off guard. All right. Councilmember Hardy.
Yes, do you have any thoughts about the high vacancy rate of our staff?
Yeah, I dissect this into 2 phenomena. One is how it is affecting our citizens, our residents in Santa Clara. Second is why it is happening. High vacancy rate affects public services, workload on current staff. So it demotivates the existing staff. And my thoughts about that is that why it is happening is because of we are not inculcating the internship opportunities or opportunities where the current employees can provide a advertisement in a way where you, like in private companies, you are able to donate money. Each employee is given a certain amount, and you basically show that how my department cares about the citizens of Santa Clara. So if we create this spread of communication, more communication to the residents, we'll find better opportunities for people coming to join the city.
Thank you. Councilmember Jane?
Thank you, Ashish. Do you have any thoughts about why it takes so long to hire someone in Santa Clara after a position has already been approved and budgeted?
Yeah, I feel that it is because of inefficient recruiting process, more steps, higher amount of time for joining, getting somebody to join, providing less opportunities for young folks to see the website in a more colorful manner, provide more. If you ask a young person today, the reason they want, the first thing which attracts a young person to join any opportunity is how we advertise on the website. So creating more of those things like we do in private sector is very, very important. Going to colleges, showing as a booth will be a big deal. So we should do all those things.
Thank you. So following up on that, do you have any suggestions to improve recruitment of new employees?
Yeah, as I said, the biggest thing which I would do, so today's young generation is attracted to a job not only because of money, but the purpose. Why I want to do something for my city, my community. If you show that through that process of advertisement, and you will get more young folks to join. You create internship opportunities. And as I said, create a community feeling like we do in libraries. Like we have libraries all over the place. Why can't we use current opportunities, current places where we can advertise these opportunities? So these are the ways we can improve. Plus, obviously, if we can get more money to our employees, that would be also great.
Thank you, Councilmember Chahal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for applying, Ashish. Are you aware that you need to fulfill the requirement of filling Form 700 every year, and are you willing to do that?
Oh, yes, I've been doing that for over a decade now. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're ready for your up to 1 minute closing statement.
I say you have a very good roster of candidates here. It will be great to choose any one of them. It's great. Thank you so much to give me opportunity again.
Thank you very much, Ashish, for applying, and we're going to make a decision right now, so you won't have to wait long. And I agree, there's quite a bit of experience and talent in this room right now. It's going to be very difficult. We only have one position. Is that one vote, City Clerk?
There would be one vote. Yes, we have 4 applicants.
Wow, this is tough. Okay.
So would you like me to begin? I think I'll begin on the other side of the dais, if you'd like.
Yeah,
Mayor.
let's change it up.
Okay. Councilmember Park, please cast your vote.
Tahir.
Councilmember Watanabe.
Steve Chan.
Councilmember Shahal.
Tahir?
Mayor Gilmore.
Samuel?
Councilmember Jane.
Tahir.
Councilmember Hardy.
Samuel.
Councilmember Becker.
Samuel.
There's a tie between Tahir and Samuel. So we can do another round of votes.
Okay. Start at this end or somewhere else. Start in the middle.
Okay. Councilmember Jane.
Tahir.
Councilmember Hardy.
Samuel.
Councilmember Becker.
Samuel.
Mayor Gilmore.
Samuel?
Councilmember Shahal.
Tahir?
Councilmember Watanabe.
Samuel.
Councilmember Park.
Tahir.
May I have a motion to approve Samuel as the Civil Service Commissioner and Tahir as the alternate?
So moved.
Second.
Our maker of the motion was, sorry, the maker.
Oh,
Shahal, thank you.
did I?
And
I wasn't, I was asking for a motion,
motion.
and did
Yeah, that's
somebody,
okay,
I
yeah.
asked for the motion, did somebody make the motion?
Yes,
Who made the motion?
Shahal, and then
Okay.
second by Watanabe.
And
Thank
Watanabe
you.
second, thank you. Please register your vote. And that passes unanimously, thank you. And thank you to all who applied, we appreciate it. And please stay engaged, whether you were selected or not. We know there's a lot of experience in this room, and we don't want to lose it. But thank you so much. It was a very difficult decision, and congratulations, Samuel. All right, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
A motion second? Please register your vote. And that passes unanimously, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.